Hello, lovelies. My name's Feta, and welcome to Fable Academy, where adventurers old and new learn from the best, but usually the worst. And tonight we're trying something a little different. Every now and then I burn the midnight oil here at Fable Academy, reading up on new magic and classic horror stories while everyone else is asleep. Like I should be. To be honest, my sleep schedule is a Jackson Pollock painting at this point. But apparently I can be a little passionate at times. Excitable, if you will. Loud. I can be loud. And the scholars at Fable Academy don't always like it when they're trying to sleep and I'm bleating my horns off about any random nonsense I find on Reddit. So today we're running an experiment. I'm going to keep the volume low, the vibes cozy, and you can tell me if the experience is pleasant or horrifying. Who knows? Maybe this won't be the last time I do this. Please bear with me as I try to contain my energy for this video. And bear in mind, some of you have actually asked for this. Our story tonight is a classic tale of maybe I did make a mistake, but how dare you notice. This story is by Itchy Hearing 1380. DM misinforms a player about character creation rules, gets mad the player noticed. I join a gaming Discord server and apply to join a new campaign. I make a character, attend session 0. Later the DM says the first session is postponed. I assumed because there weren't enough players, only 2 showed up to session 0. Later I join a chat and then DM shares he's lost his job and the game is on hold until he finds a new one. Understandable, though perhaps he should have been more forthcoming about this information. He invites me to join another ongoing campaign of his, says all the information is on the game page, gives me a link. I ask for the character creation rules, he says 2014. He also mentions that the party has 3 characters who can heal, but they could use another one, because the party is struggling in combat. I don't want to disrupt the conversation I joined any further, so I go follow the link he gave me and read. The page is mostly about campaign tone, it doesn't mention rules at all. On the campaign Discord channel, I look up and find a player asking about the creation rules and the DM replying it's 2014 rules. I make a sorcerer character, write a backstory for her. I check out others' builds. First, because as a sorcerer, I don't get to pick and choose my spells every day. I'm stuck with whatever I pick for the whole campaign, so I'd really rather not pick Detect Magic if someone else already has it. Second, I'm curious what's going on. Why does the party have 3 healers and need another? Third, I want to understand the builds they're going for. A class and race doesn't tell you much. Same class could be played as a tank, a damage dealer, a controller. Maybe some are planning to multi-class? I am aware there are a small minority of players who prefer to be private about their character sheets and wouldn't want me to see theirs. But in my experience, they are very rare. A lot more common are new players who appreciate a hint here and there, or made a mistake on their character sheet that the DM missed. Steve, it's your turn. You see a zombie shambling towards Clark. What do you do? I think I had a crossbow somewhere. Let me check. Meticulous crossbow searching sounds. Oh no, I don't have one. I guess I'll just move towards it. Pity I don't have any way to reach it. Me. Do you have any javelins, perhaps? Most barbarians start with javelins. They can be thrown. Steve. Oh, right. I have javelins. Thanks. That's the kind of thing I use my meta-knowledge for. The whole, we have 3 healers and need more story makes me suspect mistakes have been made somewhere, so I check. Sorry to all the private people, but after a session or 2 I would figure out most of your stats anyway. First thing I noticed is most characters are made by 2024 rules. Another thing that stands out is 2 characters have a speed of 20 due to wearing heavy armor at low strength. So I ask the DM if we are playing by 2024 rules after all, since most characters are made that way, and if he enforces the 20-foot movement speed. If there's a homebrew rule here, I deserve to know. Maybe my sorcerer can wear heavy armor too. The DM responds by getting mad at me for looking at other players' character sheets. I say I won't look at them as long as he looks at them and makes sure nobody's cheating or making mistakes. He then explains that he has some homebrew character creation rules, where they start as 2014 characters as level 1, but gain further levels as 2024 characters. Explains is a generous word. The man's grammar is atrocious, his writing borderline unreadable. I don't normally apply to games run by people whose writing is that incoherent, but his game invitation was written well, in retrospect, clearly by an LLM. I'm teetering on the brink of quitting as soon as I hear about this horrible mess of a homebrew that I was never warned about, but I never get a chance. I get kicked out. Apparently, it was terribly disrespectful of me to imply my DM might not know what's going on in his players' character sheets and to look at them. He actually published the recordings of his sessions, so I checked them out of curiosity. During the very first combat, he was, "Don't you have resistance to slashing damage because you're a paladin?" And he had to ask if every attack hit because he didn't know his players' ACs. So no, he clearly didn't know much about their character sheets, but how horrible of me to notice. Okay, this one does actually require a quite measured response, so I'm happy to be reserving my energy for this. First of all, this DM may be a bit petty and his homebrew is definitely very messy, but I'm kind of leaning towards giving him the benefit of the doubt. From the sounds of it, maybe he's relatively new to DMing, and maybe his grasp on English is more tenuous than his AI-written invitation made it seem, and I'm not going to hold it against someone for struggling in a second language. Now, the homebrew rules are definitely concerning, as jumping between rule sets so arbitrarily is definitely playing with fire. I barely know the differences between 2024 and 2014 rules as it is, but I know those small changes make a big difference if you're not careful. I know some DMs like to get very creative with the rules at their table, but there's a difference between reinventing the wheel and reinventing the wheel. But on the flip side, I also want to give something of a hot take here. It does seem like OP is teetering dangerously close to both metagaming and backseat DMing at the same time. In my experience, the small minority of players that keep their character sheets hidden from each other isn't so small. If anything, I've known more players to keep their sheets private between them and the DM, and other players who prefer not to look at each other's character sheets even when accessible. I'm not saying it's an out-and-out cardinal rule to break, but it's definitely something where it's better to ask before assuming it's okay for you to look. Helpfully reminding a player that they should have javelins as another player is very different to reminding a character they do have javelins as another character. Coupled with going straight to the DM to look at the rules and challenging the DM that they haven't looked at the character sheets may not help you beat any allegations that they may be starting to form about you and the way you behave. If in doubt, always ask the DM first, since you're the new person at the table and don't want to disrupt anything that's going on. Overall, I do think this was a horror story waiting to happen, and I am more on OP's side than the DM's. But I don't think this is explicitly due to DM being a bad DM. Maybe just too messy to be inviting random players to the table without having all of his ducks in a row. It seems more like a bad fit of table for OP more than anything. But again, I'm giving the DM the benefit of the doubt here that maybe he's struggling more than just being an idiot or outright malicious. But that's just my thoughts on this story. What do you folks think? Let me know in the comments, and let me know whether this video was good or unsettling, and no matter what time of day or night it happens to be, I'll see you again real soon for our next lesson in Fable Academy.